Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Raynday Gaming. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about some new news that just dropped in a new segment I might be calling Raynday Gaming News. I have no idea. RDGN, RGN, whatever it's called. We got some great SBMM conversations, and it's one of the biggest content creators in the world and on YouTube, specifically Jack Courage Dunlop, a former Call of Duty caster turned streamer, turned really huge inspiration for a lot of people who are in the esports industry like myself. Yet he made a comment about SBMM, and today we're going to talk about whether he's right or wrong, because Jack made some scathing comments about why his experience in Warzone and in COD is unplayable. Now, is he right? Is he wrong? Is this language actually correct for him to use? Or is he falling into the trap that we discussed last video in 43 minutes, where I broke down some of the common myths about SBMM and why people who are being benefited by SBMM actually complain about it? And this is going to lend itself to this topic. First off, if you like this stuff, if you like me covering these conversations from different people around the gaming industry and keeping you up to date, please leave a like, and of course subscribe. I mean, that's the best way for me to know that this is something I should do again. So let's get straight into it. Jack Courage Dunlop said earlier today in a tweet that now has amassed over 21,000 likes. A lot of people don't even have 21,000 followers. This is 21.6 thousand likes, 1.7 thousand retweets, people that agree with this and want to spread this information, yet 562 comments. That is a lot of comments. And so you can tell that it's already a contentious topic. Now, skill-based matchmaking, as I mentioned earlier, is a skill-based matchmaking system to make you play with people of an even skill. If you are very good, you get put against other players who are very good. And if you are very bad, you'll also play at a level that is below what other players who are really good will be playing at, so that you don't get exposed to players who will just annihilate you and then make you quit the game. Now, this has created some tension, and especially at the highest level. So let's read what he says. Skill-based matchmaking has killed my love for standard Call of Duty multiplayer. There is no pop-off game. There is no ability to use fun weapons. You have to sweat 100% of the time. They want everyone to have a 1.0 KD and get a participation trophy. So sad. I feel like there should have been an exclamation point. It feels like a Trump statement right there. Warzone, save me. Now, this comes off as a really scathing remark, and I want to mention this. Skill-based matchmaking is in, there was a tweet that one of the developers did previously where they were getting called out for all these other great CODs that had no skill-based matchmaking. And a quote tweet that one of the developers responded to that comment with said, every one of those games you just mentioned had SBMM. So SBMM is not a new thing. It is standard across the industry. Almost every multiplayer game you play plays it. So why is Jack yelling, and does this actually make sense for him? The crazy thing is that this is actually appropriate for Jack, but his use of these words and the comments below, which we'll get into in a second, because there's some people who call him out back, actually is incorrect for most of the people who are retweeting it and talking about it. Jack is in the highest 1% of players. He is a content creator at the highest level, 2 million plus, nearly 3 million subscribers. He's got more hours and experience in Call of Duty as a caster and as a player than almost anyone on the planet, and he covered that game extensively when it came out. The idea around COD and Jack being in the top 1% or even beyond that, top 0.001%, is very, very likely. Now, there's a chance that someone else is also in that because they've put just raw hours in the game, but he will, in SBMM, experience the hardest matches possible, and that is what SBMM intends to do. So he's actually right to complain. He is having harder games. There is no pop-off game for him because he's playing against literally every other player who was going to pop off. There's no scrubs in his lobby. There's no ability to use fun weapons. I've been there. I've tried to make content around fun guns and fun things, and if you're trying to sweat, you got to put the bad gun down. So I understand where he's coming from here. And I actually think that this is an accurate tweet for how you should feel if you're in the 1%, which is the content creators, the people who are vocal and who get 21,000 retweets. 20,000 likes. The problem is everyone talking about it below who's retweeting said screw SBMM is in the 90% and below that it's actually benefiting because they're not in games with Courage, with Scump, and with all these other players. Because if they were in actual games with them, they would actually be having a horrible experience in the game. That's what SBMM is trying to prevent. Sometimes it fails because you do not have enough people to matchmake, and they will prioritize putting you in a game instead of just making sure you have the best match. So instead of waiting 15 minutes, they'll throw you in with a few top 1%ers just so that they can get a game and you can get a game. And it might be a little sweatier than usual. You might really remember that game versus some other games that are normal, and you might quit and think SBMM is bad. But ideally, that's when SBMM fails, not how it's actually supposed to be intended. And remember, playing a game is more important than the perfect matching of a game in these systems. Now, what's interesting is Choco Taco, another famous full-time streamer. He's with TSM, plays a lot of SPS games, a great big streamer. He goes, this again, snore. I know there are a few legitimate reasons for disliking SBMM, but you're basically saying you just want to pub stomp. I mean, just say that instead of whatever else. Jack responds, nah, I want to try different weapons other than the M4 Uzi. It shows you don't play many Call of Duty public games. I can't snipe or else I go 8 and 25. I can't play with other skilled friends without them having a terrible time. I can't show off a rank to justify the lobbies. This is 100% true in Jack's perspective, but this is also true in Choco Taco's perspective. And so I'm kind of liking that people are calling him out, because the issue is Jack is kind of expanding this idea because he's got such a big platform that SBMM is affecting everyone in this way, when in reality, he's not. He is a content creator that wants 20 to 30 plus kill games because that represents millions of views and potentially a ton of money. Like I know from a YouTube standpoint as well, the better you do in a game, the more money you could potentially get, the more subscribers, the more hype, momentum. And he's definitely looking for that. And SBMM stops that from happening in a very consistent way. You got to kind of work really hard for that one game where you pop off. Choco Taco is saying that, yes, we know that's what you want. Unfortunately, you're making it seem like everyone else, 90% of the people who benefit from SBMM and not playing against the 1%ers, the top 5%ers all the time, are actually not benefiting from this. It's just supposed to match you up with people of an even skill. Obviously, it fails. No system is perfect, but that is what SBMM is. It is not this evil system that makes your games really hard. Hopefully, that is coming off clear. As you can see, Frost, he's with 100 Thieves, so they have a little bit of a bias. He's going to support Courage. The funniest part to me about people who want SBMM in the game is when they say people don't want to get on every game, even though 98% of the player base are casuals. So 9 out of 10 of their games, they're getting matched up with people just as bad as them, even without SSBM. So he doesn't actually, it's SBMM, right? So honestly, he knows that as well. And then this guy says, bro, you just won a 10 KD trophy for pub stomping kids who play less than 5% as much as, how does that make your desires any better? He says, can't wait for people to not read this and say the word pub stomping without having an idea what they're talking about. This is interesting too, because this is a guy who's with NRG. He's a esports video photographer of the year. Obviously, he's got a huge following. And for me, to consider what he's saying is actually delegitimizing the truth, which is that it's not pub stomping, but what he is asking for is lesser skilled players to be in his games. So I don't know if you want to call it pub stomping, but you can call it not playing at the level that he is as a player. If people are as good as him in a lobby, it will be an even game. He may even have a bad game and they might win that round. If people are less good and there's more or less good players, more bad players, he's going to have a better video, and that's what he wants. I think it's possible for two things to be true. I think it's possible that SBMM is serving the majority of people, but I also think it's possible that Jack Courage is having a bad time because he is at the top 1% of players and pros. My only issue, and what I hope you guys would spread and share this video and obviously subscribe, like, and hopefully this gets a little bit of coverage here, is that it does not mean that this system is bad for you. This system is usually good for you, and it is used in every single game. And believe me, you know how they monetize the loot boxes, they monetize all that. There's data behind this, significant data across the entire gaming industry that says people have a better time when they are playing in lobbies like this, with skill-based matchmaking, matching them up against some element of a fair game versus getting in these lobbies like you jumping into one with Jack and being a part of his kill montage. Just a little bit of awareness. Let me know if you guys want to talk a little bit more about the SBMM topic. Of course, if there's any cool tweets or any conversations you think we should have here on the channel, I'm open to them. I'm experimenting. I'm doing a lot of cool stuff. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I'm kind of having fun with it. And as always, remember to subscribe and stay tuned for more. And never give up. Never stop gaming. We'll see you all next time.